This is Into Math, Grade 3, Lesson 9.3. Use properties to add. I can use the commutative and associative properties of addition to find the sum of more than two addends. Please gather your workbook and a pencil and turn to page 250. We will start under Build Understanding Part 1. If you need to pause at any time, you may do so. Matt's bowling score for 3 games is shown. How many total points does Matt score? Show one way to order the numbers and find the sum. So we have a table here that has a title that says bowling game scores. And then on one side we have the game and the other side we have the score. So one way to order the sums is just to put them in the order we find them by each game. 53 plus 109 plus 87 equals the amount of total points that we're looking for. I could also create a bar model with the order of numbers 53, 109, and 87, where I'm looking to find the total amount altogether. So let's go ahead and add the first two numbers that we have in order, 53 and 109. You can pause and do the addition yourself and come back. And when you do, you will find that we have the answer of 162. Now we're going to take 162 and we are going to add 87 to find the final answer of the points. So again, if you'd like to pause and do the addition, you can do that and come back. And when you do, you will find the answer would be 249 points. So we will answer here 249. And that is the total amount of points that Matt scores. So now let's look at part A. What is another way to order the numbers and find the sum? So this was one way that we ordered the numbers. We said 53 plus 109 plus 87, and that's going to make our total of 249. That was our answer. Okay, so if you want to pause and try this on your own, you can do that and come back. And I'm just going to show you that I'll start with 53 again, but instead of taking 109 next, I'll do 87 and then 109. So now we can go ahead and find the sum. So we can start by adding 53 and 87. If you'd like to pause and try this on your own, you can do that and come back. And when you do, you will find that our answer is 140. And then we're now going to add the 109 to 140. And again, you can pause, but when you come back, you will find that it's the same answer that we had above, which is 249. And this is really connecting to the vocabulary that we've learned before, the commutative property of addition that states you can add two or more numbers in any order and you will still get the same sum. So that's what we did. We mixed around the order and we still got 249, just like we did above here when we had a different order of the same 3 numbers. All right, let's take a look at part B. Use parentheses to show how you group the addends in the equation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the same addends. 53 plus 87 plus 109 will equal, and then I'll write the sum 249. So this was our addition equation. Now I'm going to add parentheses to show how we group the addends. So in this part A here, I added 53 and 87 first. So I'm going to put parentheses here and here to show that I grouped these addends first, meaning I added them first. And because when we see parentheses, our job is to do what's in the parentheses first. So adding the parentheses before 53 and after 87 tells us that we need to do this addend first. Now let's look at part C. Part C asks us to write another equation to show a different way to group the addends. So again, I'm going to write the same equation that we had above. 53 plus 87 plus 109 will equal 249. But this time, I'm going to group them differently. I'm going to group them first. This time, I'm going to start the group at 87 and 109. So I'm going to put my parentheses before 87 and end at 109. And then I'm going to do that addition over on this side just to show you that it is correct. 87 plus 109. And you can do this, pause and do this addition if you'd like. And when you return, you will see that makes 196. And then we take 196 and we need to add the 53. And again, you can pause and compute this. When you come back, you will find that it is 249, which is the same sum that we get here. So changing that grouping does not change the sum. And so part D, what did you notice about the sums? And we can explain our thinking that the sums are the same. Now let's take a look again at the connective vocabulary. The associative property of addition states that you can group addends in different ways and still get the same sum. And then they provided an example, and we have an example with B and C as well. Now let's take a look at the next page, page 251, under Step It Out, Part 2. The table shows the number of minutes per week that Kenzie runs. How many minutes does Kenzie run in 3 weeks? So the following table shows that on week 1, she ran 54 minutes. On week 2, it was 89, and week 3 was 56. Let's look at part A. Look for a way to group the addends to make them easy to add. Write the order of the addends and use parentheses to show how you grouped the addends. So if you would like to pause and try this on your own, you can do that and come back and check your answer. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. When I look at the numbers 54, 89, and 56, I find that 54 and 56 are more friendly to me because I can kind of think of them as 50 and 50, which I know it makes 100. So I'm going to probably add those ones together to make it easier for myself. So I'm going to put 54 plus 56. And I would say I would add those first, and then I would add the 89 to find the total minutes that Kenzie ran. And then I'm going to put parentheses in front of 54 and after 56 because that's the order that I want to add. I want to add those first and then add 89 to whatever the sum that they make. Let's take a look at part B. Now it tells me to add the addends inside the parentheses. So I'm going to take 54 plus 56. And you can pause this video and do the addition problem and come back. And when you come back, you will find that the answer is 110. Now part C asks us to add the sum of the first 2 addends to the third addend. So we're taking the 110 that we had the sum from the first 2 addends, and now we're going to add it to the third addend, which is 89. So we're going to add 89. You might wish to solve this mentally without paper and pencil, and that's great. Otherwise, you can always use paper and pencil and solve this problem and come back. You will find that the answer is 199. So we can answer part D, how many minutes does Kenzie run? Kenzie runs 199 minutes. As always, you can always go back and rewatch this video and pause along the way as needed.